Hey guys, so I haven't made a video in a while due to the corona situation. It's just been a lot of different things I've been doing. So I wanted to come and bring this video to you today. I thought that I would talk about a little bit of what I've been going through. I know probably a lot of you out there have been going through the same thing. So I don't know if anybody has lost anybody since the coronavirus, but I wanted to talk about when you're grieving and some things that you should keep in mind, or things that you can do basically to try to get through it the best way that you can. I don't know. Recently, a lot of people that know me know that I lost my sister in January. My sister was 49. She was healthy. She didn't have any medical issues, anything like that. She wasn't sickly. She passed away suddenly in her sleep, and that is something that I have been trying to go work through along with my daughter. So I guess today I just want to talk about it and just give you some, advice or words of encouragement for anybody out there that's going through the same thing that I'm going through, and you feel like you're alone and people may not understand. Um, some of the emotions that I feel like when you are grieving that you can go through um, sometimes can take you through a lot of different emotions in your in your grieving process you can go through. And with that being said, I just feel like there's a lot of things that you can do to help yourself while you're going through this process. Um, and that person that you may have lost, sometimes you may have not spoke to that person in a while, or you may have just not been that close to that person. You may have been in another state. That makes it even harder. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I feel like a lot of people don't think about that when a person is grieving. They think that you go through it and then you're supposed to get over it very quickly. And I think that sometimes when you're grieving, it can spiral into something totally else. It can make you go to a totally different place if you're already going through things. So on top of the coronavirus, um, everything else people out here losing jobs and losing homes, it can really take you through a lot. You can really lose yourself in the middle of all this. So some of the things that I wanted to talk about, and I did write them down, I just wanted to bring that to the light, would be, excuse me guys, I have to put on my glasses. There's a lot of things that I think, far as if you're in a relationship with the person that passed away, that you will miss those things. You'll miss doing those things. You'll miss talking to the person. Well, my sister, she lived in New York and I live in Georgia, and there was a lot of times that I felt like there was things that I could have said or didn't get a chance to say, and not because there was anything wrong, but it was just the fact that sometimes you don't get a chance to say goodbye to that person. And that's the hardest thing when you're grieving about someone. If you're the person that was on the other end and you didn't get a chance to say goodbye, or the person passed away suddenly, you're left with those feelings of what could I have done, or if I was closer, what could I have said, or did the person know how much I care about them? And all those things, a lot of people say that doesn't matter, but it does to you, because you are the person left grieving. There's a lot of things that you feel like you are responsible for when that person passes away, with yourself, with your own emotions. You start thinking about what you could have done differently. I'd say that in those times to pray. You look for your biggest inspiration, things that motivate you. Talk to the person. I know that may sound a little strange, but I say that because I find myself sometimes talking to my sister. I have a conversation, even if it's something in my head that I think about that was when I was younger. My sister used to get me dressed. And I was the third child. My sister was the oldest, and then there was my second sister, Gina. So when we were going to school, she used to get me dressed. You know, my mother was not up. Um, she would already start getting me dressed. I would think about how she used to call me a grit baby because I love grits. So whenever sometimes I'm like getting ready to eat grits for breakfast, I'll say something. I'll say, yeah, you know, like I know my sister's probably somewhere saying like, look at her, she love her grits. You know, have those moments with yourself. You might have to some days cry. Like I was going through it so bad this weekend that, and I'm trying not to get myself, that I woke up and I just couldn't help but cry. Like almost knocked the breath out of me. And my sister has been gone for 7 months now. It's just never a feeling that is okay. Like you, one day you're up here, you're happy, and the next day you're down here. So I will say that allow yourself to cry. Don't put a time limit on how long you grieve. I know in one of my statements I said that it's in the Bible. It says that you shouldn't grieve long, but I feel like um, grieving is a process. It's a process, and you're gonna continue to go through it because every time I think about my sister being gone, it seems unreal. So it may be like right now I'm thinking about her, but 2 days from now it could wake me up out of my sleep, and I could totally feel like this is so unfair. She should be here, and then that's another emotion I was gonna talk about. Like sometimes I may want to do something, or you may want to do something, and then you feel like, why should I do this? It's a person that you're thinking about is not here. Like it doesn't feel fair for you to go out and do this because that person that you lost can't do it. That's another emotion, and I feel like don't allow yourself to sit in it so long that you start feeling like there's things that you can't do to enjoy your life because that person is not here. And it's easy to find yourself doing that because I've done that, and you create this cycle of not wanting to go anywhere, not wanting to do anything. You don't even realize that you're doing it, but you're doing it because you feel like if she can't do it, then why am I doing it? And that's the guilt trip that you put on yourself. Another thing is check on the people that the person left behind, because my sister left behind a husband and 2 kids, and they were like inseparable. They were married since I was 18 or 19. My sister and her husband have been together, and my sister was going to be 50 in 2 months when she passed away, and they were like best friends. I mean, I can't imagine what he's going through. If I imagine if I know the things that I'm going through, that's why I say check on the person. I don't care if it's been a year. I mean, I call to see how he's doing, and I can just imagine, you know, the time he's, you know, having grieving, because I know that if it's been 7 months for me, then that person, you know, should or maybe still, you know, going through it, and it's possible that they are worse than you. So the pain, I feel like it never goes away, but it does allow you at some time to breathe, and then sometimes, like I said, it can knock the wind out of you when it comes back and you just think about that person no longer being here. I feel like a lot of times people will offer you things. They'll say like, you know, have a drink, you know, go lay down, have a drink, or, and I'm just saying this, you know, because it's things that I've heard, you know, go smoke you some weed. And, you know, I would say to steer away from the things that can cause you to be like, not negative, but that can weigh you down. Think about the things that make you, like going to the gym is my outlet, just to run and just let out all my emotions, because I feel like that 30 minutes or so that I'm doing cardio and listening to music, it causes me to continue to still take care of myself, but at the same time release the frustration, you know, but release it in a good way. And then once you come out of there, you know, you're feeling a little bit better because you've done something for yourself, but you also start remembering the good times. I don't know about you, but when I'm working out, sometimes it brings so many thoughts in my head, and you might not feel that it's doing you any good, but by you going to work out and working your frustrations out, it can cause you to think about other things. And not that you don't want to think about that person, but it makes it easier for you to get through your day. I would say a lot of times don't depend on other people to understand what you're going through or to always be in the same place that you're in, because I know when my sister first died, it was a lot of people reaching out to me, telling me how sorry they were, but those people, it will die down. So just be prepared that it will be just you with your emotions at some time, at some point, and you will have to face, what's happened. And I think that if you face it in a way that you give yourself some alone time, to just cry. Like I said, sometimes you may have to be alone and just cry and get that out. Like I said, I don't like to do that a lot around my daughter. I am a single mom, and I found myself crying, this weekend so hard that my daughter had to hold me. And I know that it can be hard, especially because she lost an aunt. And it can make the other person, have some type of emotions. But I feel like it's okay. It's okay for people to see you feeling like that, because it makes you human. It humanizes you, and it makes people know that you do have those emotions, and it tells you how deeply, you love that person, because it's not just, that person is gone. It feels like a piece of you. And I feel like also talking to God, I've had moments where I have questioned God, but I also have talked to Him about how deeply I love my sister, and just the thought of her not being here made me, look at my own life and say that we all have a time, right? We have a time, that we're not going to be here, but it makes you appreciate the people that are here a little more. I would say grieving during quarantine has been the most. I mean, it's a difficult, and it's a weird feeling. I can't explain it, because when my grandmother passed in 2018, of course we were in quarantine, and I was able to go and do things, and it kind of took my mind off of things. But being in the house a lot, you're quarantined, like you're forced to be around, you're just forced to be by yourself sometimes, because you sometimes you don't want to hear the TV, sometimes you don't want to hear the radio. Sometimes I get on my computer and I do things I should be finishing my book, but you have a lot of time to be by yourself if you're not in a house with someone, if you're not in a relationship. Most of the time my daughter's doing her own thing, or she might be at work. So I have a lot of time to think about those things and think about the people that I love the most, and really think about my sister and what she meant to me. So with that being said, I would say that please, if you're grieving right now during this quarantine time, please find something that will help you. I mean, I don't care if you have, if there's books or something that you've been wanting to read. I mean, get a book, write out your thoughts. I would say get a journal, start, or talk to someone. And that's another myth that a lot of us have. When I say, young black women, it could be anyone. I would say that I've always thought about going to talk to a therapist. I didn't think that would be the best thing, but I think that has been the best thing for me, is talking to someone that allows you to get out your frustrations and how you feel, and just to listen. That has been such a great benefit. So I did want to come on here and reach out to everyone that may be grieving right now, just to let you know that you're not alone, and that look for that support, that the person that is closest to you, that can basically listen to you. Sometimes you may not want to go to your partner. Sometimes you may not want to go to, you may want to go to your pastor and talk to somebody at church. You might want to talk to your deacon. But there are people that will listen, and it's just good to get it out. Whatever you're going through, the loss of, not only grieving someone that passed away, but the loss of a job can be devastating. The loss of income and during this time can be stressful for a lot of people. And I found that a lot of times with men, they don't want to express that, and they think it's not manly. I would say that talk to a therapist, talk to somebody that can help you, because there's a lot of people right now committing suicide. I'm looking at the different situations now going on with Tamar Braxton and Nick Cannon, and that's what made me say that I needed to reach out and just see if I can, offer some advice to somebody that may be out there going through it. I get up in the morning and I'm teleworking from home. A lot of people out there may be teleworking, or when you're working from home, I feel like you have to find a way to kick off your day the same way you did when you were working in the office. A lot of us will get up, we have a routine. So with me, in order to start my day, of course I pray, but I put on a Fred Hammond, a Kirk Franklin, a Yolanda Adams. I just get my gospel mix going, and I get that feel-good music for you out there. Maybe a Kim, and maybe a Jill Scott, or whatever it is, that vibe that gets you going. I get up, I put that on after I pray, I get my day going, and it just lifts me and puts my mind in a different path. So I would say, with everybody out there, this is a tough time. Things have totally, completely changed. We don't know if we're coming back from this, but we do know that there is a way to continue to be positive, continue to just strive and look forward to a better day. And I hope that with all this being said, that we just come out of this as better people. So I want everybody out there who has gone through the loss of a loved one to just keep your head up and know that, God is great, God is so faithful. And anytime you call on him, he is listening. Talk to him. Sometimes when you're by yourself, that's what he wants, for you to talk to him. And I feel like if you stop being who you are in the midst of grieving, if you let go of the person that you are, that can be, that is not the best thing, And I feel like with me continuing to push through and just continuing to be the best me that I can, and it allowed me to really get through this time, that's another thing that I wanted to say, like, just continuing to focus on what's so great in my life. Like, look at the positives is what's helping me get through it. It's helping me get through it. A lot of people are surrounded with a big family that can help them. I didn't have a lot of people around me that are down here where I am, because my family is mainly in New York. So what I mean is music is a big helper. I would say stay away from a lot of the negative TV because sometimes that can bring a lot of stress and anxiety on top of what you're already going through. Find something that you're good at. You may have wanted to start writing a book. You may have thought about starting a YouTube channel. You may thought about getting in the gym and getting your body right, or I'm going to eat better. I've been watching a lot of cooking shows, and I've been learning how to cook a lot of different things that I thought I would never want to eat, but because it's so healthy, I kind of steered away from it. So it allowed me to really throw myself into doing things that I really didn't have time to do before. So I guess with that being said, I'm just wishing that everybody, I just hope, right now, everybody out there who is grieving, who has lost someone, just know that God doesn't make mistakes. He does not make mistakes. And sometimes the things that happen, we have no control over them. But take this time to better yourself and to reach out to someone else. Reach out to that person. Reach out to their best friend. My sister had a best friend who really expressed to me how much my sister meant to her. And, listening to the things that she said about my sister made me feel so much better. She didn't know, and I was reaching out to her, and she was making me feel so much better just listening to the things she was saying about my sister. Reaching out to the people that loved her, checking on them to see how they are doing. That could really help someone. So I hope for watching this video that I was able to help someone, grieving, going through this process, and know that you're not alone, and that, we will all get through it. So I hope everyone is staying safe during this quarantine time, and just making sure that you are doing all the things we need to do to stay healthy and stay strong and to continue to take care of yourself. And I just wish everybody a wonderful week, and thank you for coming back to my channel. Hopefully I'll be doing some more videos based on what my channel is about, which is stepping out with Stephanie, I did change the name because my channel, I did want it to be about, you know, doing things in Atlanta, a lot of places to go and a lot of things to do here in Atlanta. So I'm hoping that I can get back to that. So I hope you'll come back to my channel and just enjoy a lot of things that I'm working on in the future. And thank you for tuning in, and I just wish you all the best and stay safe and God bless.